welcome to Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver. I'm your host, the elusive Arabbidb3aver, and joining me today from Championship One Wrestling and also branded the KVN show, Mr. Jared. Now, Mr. Jared, before we get into all the action, let's talk about how and everything went on last week. You were attacked last week at the end of the show. Lots of stuff happened. How are you feeling, sir?
I'm okay. I don't feel great. I've got a bruise here on my elbow from everything that happened. But I mean, it's to be expected when you're dealing with KVN and his cohorts. So I mean, all things told, I'm okay.
Well, we're going to put that on the screen for everybody to see because they deserve to know exactly what's going on. Now, you're going to watch the footage with us as it goes live here. So you see here, you got the man himself out there. Alex Michaels taking care of AMJ on the ground there. And then you're chatting back and forth with the Rabid Reject, and he just comes out and attacks you.
See, I was trying to stand up for a member of our audience named Brandon. He's a great man, and Adrian Ace decided to antagonize him, and I was just trying to stand up for my friend, and you saw what happened to me.
Absolutely. So it begs the question, sir, is there any retaliation, or have you learned your lesson, either one?
Well, listen, any retaliation is going to be handled by Team C1W. Have I learned my lesson? Absolutely not. I will continue to stand against injustice anywhere that I see it. That's the kind of person that I am. Inside of wrestling, outside of wrestling. That's who I am. And for Adrian Ace to verbally assault a member of our audience for no good reason, of course I'm going to step in. Of course I'm going to have something to say about that. If I get laid out in the process, well, that's par for the course. My head doesn't feel great. Obviously, my elbow doesn't feel great, but I'm alive, and I'm going to be there on Saturday for End Games. I'm going to be there. That's all that matters.
Speaking of end games, we're not trying to change the subject here, but Mr. Jared, take us back to where this all began between Robert Blade having his title stolen and the Pied Piper of professional wrestling, Mr. Cameron Cox.
Well, Cameron Cox decided one week after his match with Robert Blade that he was going to run off with the championship belt. And he held that belt for a few weeks while Robert Blade was not able to join us and paraded around as if he was the champion. That didn't sit too well with me. I refused to announce him as the C1W Heavyweight Championship champion. He didn't like that. At one point, in fact, he was going to use the belt as a weapon, and I hopped up on the apron and grabbed a hold of it. Of course, TK had something to say about that, and he dragged me off the apron. But Cameron Cox is not the C1W champion. He has not been the C1W champion since he lost it. And as far as my prediction goes, he won't be the C1W champion after End Games.
Now, these two monsters are having a special match Saturday, October 26th. Can you tell us about what's going on there?
Well, every single match this coming Saturday is going to be held inside of a steel cage. One special addendum that's been added to Robert Blade and Cameron Cox's match is that Robert Blade has brought his own chain and his own padlock. And he has entrusted the key with yours truly.
Wow.
So I'm going to be there to make sure that no matter what happens, Cameron Cox cannot escape the well-earned ass beating that he's going to get from Robert Blade.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but he's called him Bobby Butterknife. He's called him the Dull Blade. He's called him everything under the sun. And we will get to see justice this Saturday, October 26th, as he's locked in that cage with nowhere to go to receive the ass whooping he deserves. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I mean, I would not want to be Cameron Cox stepping into this cage with Robert Blade. I'm sure that he thinks he has a plan and that he's going to be all well and good afterwards, but I can just tell you, I mean, from spending time with Robert Blade over the last few weeks, this is a man who is determined to make sure that he goes home with the C1W heavyweight gold. And I don't know that Cameron Cox has any plan or sabotage or anything of that nature that could stop Robert Blade from achieving his goals on Saturday.
Absolutely. I would 100% agree with you. Absolutely, Mr. Jared. Now we have to move on just a little bit. We want to talk about the unholiest of alliances that has come in C1W. We got to see the killer TK Arden and none other than the man who attacked you, the Rabid Reject, join forces, but it seems like they've got a lot going on with other people as well, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, the Unholy Degenerates, they formed in the wake of a departure from C1W, and they have made the most of their opportunity. I mean, Cameron Cox, TK Arden, Adrian Ace, and Mama Hannah are a unit that is not to be messed with. There's no denying that. Even though I think that they're some of the scummiest people that walk the face of the earth, they they're a force to be reckoned with. Especially TK Arden and Adrian Ace. There's some chemistry there that I don't think even they expected to be there. But when they step in that ring together, you can see it. You can see they're a well-oiled machine, and that spells doom for anybody that would want to take the C1W Tag Team Championships away from them.
So with that being said, especially with them being the tag team champions, you have to worry about what's going to be going on outside of the ring as well as what's going on inside the ring, especially with Mama Hannah being on the outside and some other people as well, correct?
Well, that's the idea of end games. Is every single match is going to be taking place inside of a steel cage. And so hopefully this will keep any external interference down to a minimum. Adrian Ace, he has his hands full inside of the steel cage alongside the rest of Team KVN. TK Arden is going to be getting in there with Matthew Oliver Peppercorn. And so each member of the Unholy Degenerates as a tag team unit has their night set for them. So hopefully this means that Matthew Oliver Peppercorn doesn't have to worry about Adrian Ace or Mama Hannah on the outside of the ring. But you never know. With the Unholy Degenerates, you really never know.
Well, I'm glad you brought this up. The killer TK Arden is going against Matthew Oliver Peppercorn, like you said. Do you believe Peppercorn has what it takes to beat the killer with the odds stacked against him?
I'll be honest with you, Joseph. I don't know. I don't know. I have been on the receiving end of punishment from TK Arden. Cameron Cox DDT'd me, and TK Arden gave me a senton. And I can't tell you what hurt worse. I don't know if it was the concussion from the DDT or the broken rib from the senton. But I can tell you that anybody who steps in the ring against the killer is going to feel the full force of TK Arden.
Now, we're talking about in-games. Do you think that Team Kevin has the main advantage going into in-games against Championship One Wrestling?
Indeed, they do. As of last week, Alex Michaels and Dalton Blake won their tag team match against the newly formed Infamous Warriors, the team of Alex Stevens and AMJ. And with winning that match, they gained the man advantage. So when the end game starts, obviously it doesn't start until all 10 men are in the ring, but the first 2 men in the ring will be representing Team KVN, and they will have 1 member of Team C1W to contest with. So that's what we mean when we say the man advantage. This end games match is going to be one for the books.
Absolutely, it will. And on the screen, guys, if it will pop up for me, we are showing you the end games right there. As you see, Team KVN is on the left-hand side of your screen, and Team C1W is on the right-hand side of your screen. And what a match this is going to be. Now, we've got a special guest down there because it does not say who it's going to be. There's a question mark down here for C1W. Are you privy to let us know who's going to be that 5th man for them?
I haven't the faintest clue. I know that Team C1W has somebody in their pocket that they're going to be bringing out as the 5th man. But the way this match is going to shake out is that once all 10 men are in the ring, it becomes elimination rules. And the only way to eliminate somebody is via pinfall or surrender. And so once the last 2 men are in the ring, whoever gets that pinfall or submission will be the one who decides the fate of C1W. And for the sake of C1W, I hope it's not Team KVN.
In-game is going to be action-packed. There's going to be nonstop action, including Wes Blaze and none other than the man, Ricky himself, the SOB Ricky Hayes is going to be there. Do you want to talk about that for just a minute?
Absolutely. Wes Blaze and Rick Hayes shared a platform on a podcast, Recovery Talk with Rick Hayes. And obviously, they're not on the best of terms going into this match. I'm sure the podcast was a friendly affair, but Wes Blaze has made it very clear in his promo that this match is not going to be a friendly affair. The C1W audience is happy to see Rick Hayes back in the ring, but I don't know if they're going to be happy with the outcome. Wes Blaze is an extremely formidable opponent, and I think that Rick Hayes is going to have to give it all that he has in order to have a chance against Wes Blaze.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that, especially after many years of being outside of the ring for Mr. Rick Hayes. It's going to take him more to get back in shape, and I hope that he's able to do it against Wes Blaze. And if you haven't been watching, Wes has been on a tear recently, especially after one referee in another promotion. He was hell-bent on hurting this gentleman. So I can only imagine the evil that's going to be in his mind coming into this for Rick Hayes. I hope Rick has what it takes to do this and be great at this. We have to move on just a little bit. We can't forget to mention Robert Starr and Chris Payne. Do you think there'll be no more pain after Saturday, October 26th? Or do you think that the star will be fizzled out?
Well, Chris Payne picked up a victory over Robert Starr pretty recently here. And I'm sure that sticks in Robert Starr's crawl. So I'm sure Robert Starr is going to be coming into this match with a chip on his shoulder. But in that same vein, Chris Payne will be coming in with some momentum. So I think this is going to be a really interesting match. Two members of the C1W roster who are hungry for a victory on a grand stage such as In Games. They're going to put on a match that I think we're going to remember for a long time.
I would agree with you. I think that the victory that Chris Payne has over Robert Starr, like you said, it's eating him alive. It's eating him 100% alive. So for Robert Starr, he wants some vengeance. He wants to make it known that he's not a pushover and that he's going to have his star shine bright once again. And I think that that's going to be the determining factor here against Chris Payne. Is Chris Payne is living the high life right now, but he has to realize he unleashed a monster in Robert Starr, and that monster is going to come to fruition Saturday, October 26th at In Games Championship One Arena, or the KVN Arena, 130 McDonald School Road, McDonald, Tennessee. Have to do it. I'm sorry, I got to.
There ain't no KVN Arena, okay? There's no KVN Wrestling. It's Championship One Wrestling. Kevin can run around with his T-shirts and his logos and his little faction of guys all that he wants, but Championship One Wrestling is Championship One Wrestling. And after this Saturday, there will be no question. I said it at the end of the last show. This Saturday, this comes to an end. But it won't be C1W that ends. It's going to be KVN Wrestling. It's going to be a footnote in the history of C1W. And for everybody watching at home, be there. See it for yourselves. Because I've said it. Everybody on Team C1W has said it. C1W will not die on Saturday, October 26th. KVN Wrestling, that's another story.
Those are very strong words, Mr. Jarrett, and you have to believe in your heart that that's going to happen in order to say that live on television, live over the internet, and live in a promo. You have to believe that 100% because of everything that's going on. You saw yourself with your own eyes the people that are going to be there on Team Kevin right over here. I mean, you've got Jaden Vane, AJ Black, Alex Michaels. You've got the Rabid Reject. You've got none other than the demented Dalton Blake, the man with $1 million smile. And you're sitting here just flapping your gums about it. They may make you pay for that once again. Are you prepared for that if they do?
Well, let's look at the history. AMJ has beat Alex Michaels twice over. Alex Stevens, yeah, he's an upstart, but he's one of the fieriest high flyers that we've seen come into C1W. Juicy John Bishop, we've seen him put on a magnificent show every time he's been at C1W. And then you have Christopher Battle. He's already beat Adrian Ace one-on-one. We have the advantage. Even if Team KVN has the so-called man advantage, we have the advantage when it comes to the history of C1W.
It's a very interesting point that you made about none other than Christopher Battle there, because Christopher Battle does have that victory, not only against Adrian Ace, but in one of the most brutal matches that took place at C1W earlier in the year. And I've got to say, from a fan standpoint, and also from where we're coming from a show standpoint, that was must-see TV. And I've got to ask, is there going to be a Mix 104.1 there to sponsor you guys this time?
Yes, Mix 104.1 will be in the building. I will be on commentary alongside the Team KVN color commentator, Joshua Fett. But regardless, I will be there on commentary with my color commentary partner, Mr. Fett. And we will be covering all of the action from the top of the show to the bottom of the show. I can't promise that I won't be preoccupied during Robert Blade and Cameron Cox, seeing as I have the key to the cage. But for the rest of the show, we will be calling all of the action together. And I guarantee you, we will be calling a Team C1W victory.
I hope so. I really hope so, Mr. Jared. For the sake of C1W and for your job safety, for 100% your job safety and security there. If not, you will be paying the piper, so they say. What do you have to say about that?
Paying the piper. Well, I don't want to speak out of turn, but myself and the piper have business that extends far beyond this show. And everybody's going to see what the piper and I have in store. But I can guarantee you I will not be paying the piper anytime soon. In fact, he'll probably be paying to stay away from me.
Very strong words, Mr. Jared. I am very intrigued, and I'm sure our viewers are as well. It seems that we have come to a point where we're all out of time for today, Mr. Jared. But before we let you go, would you like to say anything to the fans? Anybody watching out there currently?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you can get there, be there. This Saturday night, October 26th, 7 p.m. doors, 8 p.m. bell time. Championship One Wrestling presents End Games. The fate of C1W hangs in the balance. This is going to be one of the most exciting shows that we have ever held under the C1W banner. Screw the KVN banner, because that doesn't exist. It's made up. Kevin made it up, and he wants to make it a reality this Saturday. But I can guarantee you this. C1W will survive End Games. And it will continue on and on and on as long as you people are there with us. So be there this Saturday. Be there to support C1W. Be there to support me. Be there to support AMJ, Alex Stevens, Christopher Battle, Juicy John Bishop, our mystery teammate, all of the men and women that make C1W great, and not these punks on Team KVN.
I agree with that. Now, I forgot something very important that's going to be taking place Saturday as well. I believe we're having one Mr. Al Snow come for a seminar. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Mr. Al Snow will be there for a seminar, trained professionals only. He will also be doing a meet and greet before the show, and I believe that he will be appearing live on the show. Al Snow, as anybody knows who has watched wrestling, is an unpredictable figure, so what he's going to be doing on the show, I'm not entirely sure, but I can guarantee it's going to be must-see.
And you guys definitely don't want to miss that. That's going to be Saturday, October 26th. Now, the seminar is going to be held from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time at Championship One Wrestling. There is no refunds on it. It is $50 per person, and it's for trained professionals only. That's correct, right?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
And then, as you said, once the bell opens, once those doors open, he's going to be out there. He's going to be in the crowd with you guys doing meet and greets. Pay for the meet and greet. Go meet Al Snow this Saturday, October 26th at Championship One Wrestling, 130 McDonald School Road, McDonald, Tennessee. It's the place where you guys want to be. Thank you, Mr. Jared, for being here today. And I hope that Championship One Wrestling is successful this Saturday, October 26th at In Games.
It will be. You don't have anything to worry about. C1W Universe, you don't have anything to worry about. We're going to be here on Saturday, and we're going to be here for a million Saturdays to come.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. You have a great night. Bye,
yes,
guys.
Sir.